The internet is something that we all use on a daily basis. In fact, you're using it right now to watch this video. But do you really know how it works? Or that we're able to have high internet speeds due to wires that can be found under our oceans? That's the topic of today's video. Let's get started. The usage of wires underwater can actually be dated back to the 19th century, way before the internet was even discovered. In the year 1858, two ships met in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, each with a wire that was 2,500 meters long. They connected the ends of the two wires so that telegraph communications between North America and Europe could be possible. This was a huge technological feat at the time and would set a precedent for what would happen as the decades went on and technology marched forward. Let's fast forward a bit to today. We no longer communicate via telegraph. Instead, we opt for the faster option, the internet. Although we've come a long way since the telegraph, we actually still have cords in our oceans that help power our high-speed internet. Instead of just one long cord, like in 1858, we have 380, totaling a length that is over 700,000 miles long. These cables are the reason that people from all over the world are able to communicate at such high speeds, and the reality is that many of us don't even know that they exist. And who exactly pays to keep these cables active? Our favorite tech giants, of course, like Meta, Google, Microsoft, and even Amazon. In a world where everything is connected through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, we tend to forget that these services are made possible by the usage of physical cables. And when these cables are interfered with, so is our internet. If you live on the east coast of America, then you're most likely to be familiar with the 2012 hurricane, Hurricane Sandy. The storm caused so much chaos that it ended up costing $71 billion in damages. Of those damages were the underwater cables. Several cities on the East Coast found themselves without power and with no internet connection, causing mayhem and confusion as they tried to survive the storm. But hurricanes aren't the only reason these cables shut down. Most mistakes are caused by humans, with an approximate 200 failures per year solely due to mistakes caused by a person. Even earthquakes can interfere with underwater cables. An earthquake that hit Taiwan in 2006 is a great example of this. The 7.0 magnitude earthquake severed 8 of these cables, causing outages in Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, Japan, Korea, and the Philippines. Even sharks are known to nibble on the cords and cause power failures. So how does it all work exactly? Well, these cables are laid down by large ships, manned firms in charge of transporting the wires into the ocean. It's said to cost anywhere from $300 to $400 million every time they do so. The cords themselves are about as thick as a garden hose, but don't let that fool you. They're composed of several protective layers so the fiber optic cable in the middle will not become damaged. And this is very important, as the fiber optic cables can transport over 100 gigabytes of data in mere seconds. And as the technology around these cables continue to advance, some have been known to transport as much as 400 gigabytes of data in seconds. Who knows just how many gigs they'll be able to transport in just a few years from now. Now, the cables aren't just all one big wire. If you take a look at them, you'll notice that for every 70 to 100 kilometers, they're fitted with a repeater. The purpose of these repeaters is to make sure the signal strength is where it needs to be, so the data can move quickly through the cables without slowing down as it travels through the ocean. This is made possible through the copper conductors in the cables that let out 10,000 volts of DC, powering the cables and repeaters. Were you aware of how much work goes into laying these cables? Let us know in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming content. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. Help us hit our goal. While you do that, let's get into the effects these underwater cables have had on the world. You think everyone would be happy about having these cables installed, right? They boost internet speeds and allow us to use our smartphones and other electronic devices to connect with others internationally. Well, there's actually some controversy surrounding this fact. The Australian government has already come out and stated that they were not in favour of a cable being installed near them by the tech company Huawei. The fear was that this company could potentially hack into their interfaces, spy on their civilians, and gather information to report back to their government officials. This isn't the only rift the cables have caused between nations. Possibilities of espionage aside, these cables are used by everyone globally, and as we previously stated, they're not exactly cheap to maintain. Whenever there's an interruption and a repair is needed, tensions can rise when it comes down to which nation or tech company is responsible for footing the bill. As with all forms of advanced technology, the underwater cables can be used for more nefarious purposes. In February of 2008, the entirety of North Africa and the Persian Gulf went completely offline. When officials investigated this matter, they discovered that a major cable connecting Dubai and Oman was severed. The official story states that the cable was cut by an abandoned anchor that weighed up to 6 tons. Although there are still suspicions to this day about the truthfulness of this answer. Many suggest that the cut was intentional and done with malicious intent. There's also been fear that one could use this cable system to spy on military submarines. According to AT&T, who currently holds the most stake monetarily in the cables, there's the threat of one party purposefully interfering with one cable, causing the internet connection associated with it to go down. The user of that cable would be forced to utilize a different cable, one that the malicious party has full access to, thus gaining full insight into what the user is doing on their computer. This is especially worrying when one takes into consideration just how much confidential information is passed through government agencies via the internet. So what about the future of underwater cabling? Is this something that we will continue to use as the years go on, or will we ditch physical cables and go completely wireless? Some turn to Elon Musk for answers. Musk, the founder of SpaceX, has begun operating a system called Starlink. The idea is that there is to be a set of satellites stationed in space that would provide internet connections to users around the world. Currently, Starlink powers the internet in over 40 countries. The goal is to go completely global by the year 2023. So in theory, if Starlink proves to be successful, there would be no reason for the underwater cabling. And in fact, it would end up saving a lot of people a lot of money. Elon Musk was actually asked about Starlink in comparison to the cables, and he had quite an interesting answer. What do you think he said? Pause the video right now and comment your answer down below. Okay, you ready? Elon Musk actually admitted that Starlink isn't close to replacing the cabling system. He said that if someone wants to access high-speed internet, the best bet is to utilize the systems that are already in place. Musk, who is known for his innovative thinking and grandeur ideas, isn't always one to admit defeat. Well, for the time being, so it's probably safe to say that underwater cabling isn't going anywhere anytime soon. That doesn't mean that satellite connection isn't a possibility as the years go on. Many people find the laying of underwater cables to not only be a daunting task, but an expensive one as well. Seeing as so many things could go wrong and cause a service interruption, as we've discussed earlier in this video, there's been a lot of money put aside in case any repairs are needed. Perhaps this will fuel more tech companies into funding satellite technology. That's all for today. We hope you learned something new about underwater cabling. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, leave a comment, and of course, do not forget to subscribe and turn the notification bell on so you don't miss out on $100. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.